Welcome back, all you hobby horn dogs. Raj here, aka the Wisco Horn Dog. Today, we're revisiting the 100% paint challenge. Now, one of the best parts about this is people doing their own tallies and sending me their numbers. And it's really awesome knowing that I'm not the only one who has a million models sitting in their basement. So it's kind of almost like a support group or something like that. I think people are talking about what they have. I guess if you think of the hobby as an addiction, that's an interesting analogy. But today we got Mr. Mikey G, the People's Champion. He put together his list of everything that he owns, and it actually exceeds mine by a little bit, so that is good to know. But we're going to take a look at it, and we're going to go through, and we're going to see what he all has, and what, if he's going to do the paint challenge, or if he's just doing this for fun. But we're going to chat with him and see what he's up to.
Oh. Okay, we're here. We're here with Mikey G.
What's up?
The people's person. Is that what you're going by now? What's your...
Yeah, that's probably the closest thing. I'm not really a champion of anything anymore. I kind of went away. I got nothing. I'm washed up. I'm washed up, man. Washed up.
Just a man wandering the roads, just looking for a game to play. Okay, so you've been inspired, perhaps enchanted even, by the 100% paint challenge. Is that correct?
I have. Not actually inspired to, do anything or make any sort of promises or pledges of my own, but it did inspire me to make my own painting log, and then immediately depressed me. So,
oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
That's all right.
Well,
my own fault.
How long? Yeah, how long did it take you before you had the idea to record it all down to actually do it?
Well, I saw your initial video. What was that, before Adepticon?
Yeah, a little bit before Adepticon.
Yeah.
I'm in March.
I didn't do this until after Adepticon, probably like the week or two after, so like mid-April. So about a month. I saw your video, and it took me that long to decide to make the set of terrible choices.
No, that's, part of the reason of doing that was hoping that other people would do it, because it's really fun to see what all kinds of shit people have, like going to other people's houses. So I know, at least in the past, you had a massive room filled with models.
Yes.
So, but what happened to that room?
That room just kept growing. It started spilling out of the living room after a while. Yeah, that got out of hand pretty fast. Although I had stuff in there. I had some Dark Eldar in there from like legitimately when I first started playing miniatures. So this would be like junior high. So we're talking like 15-ish years ago. Like,
that is awesome.
Been a long time since some of these models have even been looked at. So, and then, I'm actually moving. Like I'm changing jobs, and my living is currently tied in with my moving. My living is currently tied in with my job right now, and I'm switching jobs, which means I'm moving. And I'm like, it was just one day, like I walked in there, and I was like, fuck me, like I'm not moving all this shit. This is not happening. This is already going to be a lot of work. So I just decided over the course of like a week and a half to document it and then start doing something about it, because it was pretty ridiculous. I mean, the list as it is right now, the list doesn't include a solid chunk of models that I just chucked during that cleaning process, because I started cleaning before I was starting the painting log, so I chucked stuff before I even like recorded it.
Okay.
Bunch of stuff that just no one's gonna ever want to buy.
That's fine. Yeah, when I was putting my list together, I did end up throwing out a bunch of shit, or just breaking it up into pieces. Like I was, no one's ever going to, this has no value. No one's going to do anything with it. Maybe you can sit in my bits box for someday, or I'll just fucking toss it. So yeah, let's take a look at your list then, because I think you outdid me. I'm not bragging about how many I have. I did have 1,941 models.
Yeah, I beat you by about 400 something. What am I, 2412?
Yeah, 2411 is what I'm seeing here. So,
Oh, I've added
yeah,
one.
basically just about 500. Just an even
Uh-huh.
fucking 500 ahead of me, 20%. So, shockingly, your actual paint numbers aren't too bad. I kind of wonder, like, you got about 701 painted, and that's about 29%.
Mhm.
So, I kind of wonder, like, if we like accumulated all the data, would it be like roughly about a third of everyone's models collections are painted or not? Because I think when Johnny did his, it was really similar to that too. But yeah, almost equal numbers of unpainted and unassembled. 905 unpainted and 805 unassembled.
Yup.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yup.
So maybe we can just go through the list and we'll just chit chat a little bit
Yeah.
about each one of these and what you think the fate of each of these different model ranges might be.
Yep. Yep.
So this is at the beginning. This is your first up. You have the Infinity shit. We're at 0. A lot of reds here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
I will say before, like, my painting for myself, the way that I actually ended up counting painted stuff,
yeah.
like if we counted painting as just like 3-color, like in a wash, I'd actually have about half of my Infinity models painted. But the way that I did my painting was, it was only counted as painted is if it was painted to a decent standard at minimum, and B, to a point where I would never touch it with a brush again. So, for example, my Bretonians, like most of them are painted. They're painted to a decent standard. They're like they're many colors plus wash. They're not much beyond that, but I'm never going to touch them with a brush again. So to me, they're finished. Same with
Okay.
like warriors. Like I actually had quite a few warriors that were unpainted because they had 3 colors plus wash. But like if I want to get them, like I actually want to use them, to me, they would require more paint to get up to the standard that they're at right now. So same with the Infinity. I have a bunch of stuff that actually is in varying stages of like wash to post wash. Some even are really close to done. But because I'm still going to put paint on them, I don't count them as painted. For me, painted was done. Like I'm not going to touch it again.
Yeah. So that's a really good point. So for anybody else who's doing this, basically, you're going to come up with your own rules as to what is done for you. So I think that's a really good way to do it. So for me, I don't think I've been questioned on it yet, but I am going to say that a three-color tournament standard minimum is what's going to count for me. Right now, I'm going way beyond that. Like with some of the Saga and Infinity stuff, I'm doing a lot new stuff that I never tried before, and some of these are probably close to the best models that I've ever
Look
done.
phenomenal. I don't know if people have looked at them yet, but your shit, both your Saga and your Infinity, you produced that in the last couple months. That shit all looks amazing. God damn.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it was really fun just doing something different, to be honest. So I think that really inspired me to take it up a notch. So I'm not, I'd like to continue that standard throughout the rest of the paint challenge, but towards the end, I'm going to get to some big Warhammer armies potentially, and I don't know that I'm going to be carrying that through. So for me, it's going to be a 3-color painted minimum is what's going to count for me. And to be honest, if I can do all that, I think I'll be happy. And I actually might just go back. If I do get everything to a 3-color minimum, I'll probably say, that's good. I met the challenge. But then next year, I might go back and keep working on it.
Nice.
Because that's one thing that I actually do quite frequently is do a model to a high standard, and then I go back and chop it up and use it for do other things with it. I don't think most people do that, but for some reason, I don't have any qualms with chopping up a finely painted model. So, okay. So, yeah, the Infinity.
Back to Infinity.
Is not. Are you using the same sheet as me then? So it's counting as not painted on mine.
Yes, correct. Nothing is counted as painted for my Infinity. Yep.
Okay.
There's only a slight difference. There's like 2 bolt action models that I added that were unpainted or unassembled, I think, or something like that. Kevin gave me like 2 models for my birthday. That's the only change that I've done to this thing.
Damn it, Kevin! I'm in the middle of a challenge.
Fucking A. Come on, Ruins. He's worse off than I am, so like he's just beating it. He's just trying not to make himself feel so bad.
Awesome. So you're gonna keep this Infinity stuff, I'd imagine. I think this is newer.
Yeah, the one Toha model is from a Dire Foes box. That one I'm gonna sell or give away. I don't really care what that is. But the Pano stuff, that stuff will, I'm gonna keep all that stuff. Plan on painting it all. I've really actually enjoyed the painting Infinity models. It's been really tricky. They're really hard. There's such small details, but it's been fun to kind of try some new techniques on them. So those are all get painted eventually.
Awesome. Moving on to 40K. I didn't know you were such a 40K hound. Look at all this.
Yeah.
Look at all this. Eldar, Space Marines, Imperial Guard. That one I didn't see coming.
Yeah, I didn't either. I actually didn't realize that I had those. I found them in a box, like on the bottom of a shelf in my minis abyss. And I actually got those from an old college buddy. When he moved to like the East Coast, he like gave up all nerdy shit. So like a bunch of his models, I got a bunch of Dark Elves from him that went to Kevin, and then Imperial Guard that I kept. And it's been sitting in my closet ever since. So that's been untouched. The Khorne stuff, the Chaos Space Marine Khorne stuff, that actually is an army that I had when I was in like high school, like junior high. Dark Eldar I used to have, but don't have much for the models anymore. And then Eldar is actually what I'm currently playing, which is why they're the largest army. And of this section, all of it, all the Imperial Guard and Dark Eldar, I plan on selling. Well, let me backtrack. The Dark Eldar, most of them exist actually as additional bits for my Eldar, because my Eldar are kind of like a piratey, like more brutal type of narrative or theme. So actually, those models from Dark Eldar are actually for kit bashing with the Eldar. So most of those that are left over now will just be essentially their Eldar models. They just are used as bits. The one painted Dark Eldar guy is from the first army that I ever had, which was a Dark Eldar army. Kind of what like the legacy model thing that you were doing. I've decided to kind of do something similar. So
cool, yeah.
So that one Dark Eldar model is like the legacy model. There's no detail on him because he's just paint is caked on. I thought for some reason, like all my Dark Eldar, when I like think of it as like a 15-year-old who doesn't really give a shit about painting and just wants to play in tournaments, all I did was I spray painted them all green, and then added brown dots for camo. That's literally like not even like different color brown, like literally just the same color brown dots, red eyes, and that was it. Like that was literally it.
Oh my god,
it was so bad. Like the fucking vehicles are the same thing. Like there was no differentiation between blades or anything. It was literally just green, brown dots, and red eyes. Fucking awful. And this one model is so much paint caked on that he has no detail. And then I thought, like a 15-year-old me thought it was really cool to make like one squad of these Dark Eldar dudes. Like there was one game where like they survived against all odds against way too much crap, and I stuck blades into them and had them bleeding, and I called them the Invulnerable Squad. Because of course that's what it was fucking cool. And so that one dude, he was like the leader of the Invulnerable Squad. That dude I kept.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
So Guard, they're gonna get sold. Khorne, I'm undecided on that one, to be honest. There's part of me that wants to paint that up and do it kind of quick. Part of me wants nothing to do with them or doesn't think I'll get around to it. So they're a little undecided. And Eldar, all of what I got there, eventually the plan is to paint it up. So.
Okay. Now, do you have a goal in mind? Do you foresee yourself actually getting to 100% at any point? Or is this kind of just an exercise for fun, you know?
Right now we're just
what is it for you?
Right now we're just at fun exercise. I don't necessarily have a goal. However, this has actually drastically cut down what I've bought. Like since I've done this, I have not. That's a lie. I got a gift certificate to an Infinity thing, so I'm actually going to be adding 4 more models to my Infinity thing.
Okay.
Because I had a gift certificate and I thought I might as well spend it. But other than that, I have not bought a single model for myself since doing this. and I'm going to keep up with that. But also a lie. I bought an Avatar of Cain, Forge World, but that's going to be a centerpiece model for my Eldar that I've been wanting to do for a while. So that one actually is going to be painted up pretty quick. But otherwise, really haven't bought anything. Don't really plan on it. I'm going to grind through a bunch of this before I get to that. So I would love to be, like, if I had a goal, it'd probably be like just like 75%. Like, just get me to like 75 and I'm okay. As long as I can say that the vast majority of my stuff is painted, I'd feel better than where I'm at right now.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, for me as well, just being at Adepticon and playing a bunch of games of Infinity and stuff like that, been like, ooh, I should get some of these guys and some of these guys, and there's a miniature market deal. I need some drones and stuff like that. So it's really, not to say that buying that shit is wrong, but just thinking about it probably more than I'm used to is really helping me out. But it's kind of interesting stuff that you just wouldn't question. You just pick it up immediately, and you're like, well, I do literally have like 1,700 models sitting unpainted at home.
Well, it's cut down. What it does is it cuts down on the impulse buy, right? Like I'll still plan on buying things, but it's stuff that I'm like, okay, do I really need this? Am I going to get this done in the foreseeable future? Is this something that's going to make my army more fun to play in the short term and long term? Like, it's almost like I plan out my purchases a lot more thoughtfully.
Yeah, that's a really good way to look at it. I mean, are you gonna use it in the next 3 months? If you ask yourself that, you might just cut out like 90% of your purchases. Because before it'd be like, oh yeah, there's gonna come a day when I'm gonna need all these guys. And my army's gonna be ready to go. And I'm gonna wow everybody. But yeah, okay. Well, looks like you got a bunch of Saga shit. That's cool.
Yeah.
Way too much. These have to be like Warhammer Ancients or something models mixed in to get to 260 Vikings.
Yep. Back in the day, doing Ancient Battles still existed. I was starting to build a Viking army, and I bought so many of those super cheap, the plastics you have, the War Games Factory, the really shitty ones that
those are rough.
Are only cool for you because you managed to paint them really well. Like, and even then, like, you could get so much more mileage out of a non-War Games. They're just so bad.
Yeah.
So I have a shit ton of those. I actually don't know what I'm going to do with those. I might throw those away because I just don't think anyone's going to buy them, and I just don't foresee myself doing anything with them. Those might get tossed. Because I really don't have most of my Viking models that are nice are painted. Like those that are metal, most of them are painted. So like the plastics that just don't look very good, those might be in the trash bin because I don't think there's no value in them at all.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you have 39 painted.
Yep.
So that's, it's close to a standard size army.
Well, I mean, for me,
it's pretty much spot on.
I have a Viking army that's painted, or a Viking Saga Warband that's painted. So because I don't use any levy with them, so it's just all Hearthguard. So, and originally I'm not going to use any more than that. Like, I have no interest in more models beyond that for the Vikings. So, it's not much to do with them.
The thing too you could do, if you're not going to use it and you don't foresee anyone buying it, just fucking bring it to the Wapaka raffle, my man.
That's true.
Just put a big box in there, and some poor schmo is going to carry it home and not do anything with it himself.
Add it to their painting log, dog.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, looks like you got most of the Pagan Ruse done.
Yep. Most of those are good. And
Crusaders and Saracens on the deck here?
So Saracens, I won at last year's Adepticon. It's a box of medals. I'm going to be selling that because it's worth like, it's actually retails for like $110, and it sells to like upwards of 80 to 90. So I'm probably going to sell that one just to make some cash. And the Crusader models are plastics that make kind of good alternate like Viking models that are a little bit later period. So I might hold on to those because I might just add a couple models here and there. And I know Kevin is actually doing some Crusader stuff. He's thinking about doing some Crusader stuff as his next warband. So I might end up giving a lot of these to him as well. Like, just keep a couple around for conversions and then just giving the rest.
Funsies. Okay. That's cool. So when do you think are you gonna work on any of that? The Crusaders, those few guys then, or are they gonna sit for a while?
They might sit for a while. I don't have a lot of plans for like my Pagan Roost for Adepticon didn't get completely finished. I need to go back and actually blend a little bit of my colors in a little bit better. So if I'm going to do anything with Saga stuff, it's going to be that, because I'm probably going to use Pagan Roost for the next year, maybe two.
Sure.
It depends.
Are you going to Saga Storm? Do you know?
Yes.
Do you have plans?
I will be going to Saga Storm. I missed it last year for Rock Wars, and not that I regretted that choice, but man, Saga Storm's amazing. I was there the first year. It was great.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it over.
Nice.
I'm gonna get my shit down for that.
Yes,
so,
man.
okay. Well, all right. This bolt action shit. This looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
Is this what's going on right now? What's on your current painting table? Is it these guys?
No, actually, bolt action. The bolt action is going to be a while yet, just because I need to sculpt almost every single model. I need to do green stuff work, and so it's going to be a while before paint hits those, because I have been slowly working on that. Basically, the commando models for the British don't fit together very well, like the pieces. And like maybe 1 out of every 5 you'll put together and be like, okay, that looks pretty good. But even then, just some of the transitions from like the backpack to their actual back and like some of their arm joints, you could leave it and it would look okay. But I want to go the extra step, and before hitting paint with those guys, actually green stuff everything to be fluid, so that you can't tell those transitions. So that's going to be a while. My actual painting table has Infinity and an Age of Sigmar test model right now on it. So that's what I'm currently working on. The commandos are always in terms of paint.
Let's get into that Age of Sigmar / Warhammer. We're looking at over 1,000 models here.
Yes. Yes. Just a stupid amount of models. Oh, yeah. Man.
Like Lizardman, Empire. Were you starting Empire right at the end?
Yeah. So
or I kind of vaguely.
So the interesting thing, the Lizardmen were, before the 8th ed book for Lizardmen dropped, I was going to do Lizardmen, and then when it dropped and nothing got interesting, it just stayed the same old boring thing. I started picking up Empire because I thought of some interesting ways to do Empire in 8th ed that would be kind of cool. And then End Time started to drop, and I stopped buying pretty much all Warhammer-related stuff because I kind of figured what was coming. And then when Age of Sigmar dropped, and it took me a little while to get to the point where I was willing to play it again. The guys at everyone around me was kind of telling me like, oh man, Empire, like they're pretty much on the way out. Like don't expect any of their models to still exist. So like I was looking at all these models being like, wow, shit, now what do I do with all this shit? So that's actually why the vampire counts are on there. I had nothing for vampire counts before January.
Whoa.
And then what happened?
Now
they're now
number
huge,
one,
right?
dude.
Like the majority, like they are not the
310.
majority, but they have the most models of any of them. Braska literally gave me an entire bin's worth of vampire counts. A lot of which was painted actually. It's like his old vampire stuff that he's not going to use anymore. And then Rotor sold me a shit ton of vampire counts for really cheap. I traded him some of demon stuff that I got from Grant Feder when Feder kind of rage quit Warhammer. So I traded that plus some additional cash and got a shit ton. So like that amount of vampire count stuff, so 310 models I've gotten for $350, maybe 400. And that includes a lot of monsters, a lot of characters, a lot of like cavalry, things like that. So I've gotten a pretty good deal.
Is that your test model then?
Yeah, test model.
Undead guy?
Undead guy. Yeah,
Hold him up, dude.
Oh yeah, that's right. I fucking forget him on video. At this point, he's just fucking washed. Haven't even touched him with highlights yet.
He's waiting for his bones. He's like, I'm a little dirty, man.
I'm
Give me some of that bleach bone.
pretty excited. The new technique I'm trying is to blend different colors together. So I'm going to blend the blue into a purple and see. I've never done that before. Like not really. So For me, whenever I paint something new, whenever I paint a new army, I try to pick up a new technique. So that's that one. It's blending two colors.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good habit to get into.
Yeah.
Okay. So, vampire counts are on the way in.
Yep.
I assume you're going to hold on to all the warriors stuff. Do you have like a lot of extra random shit?
I do have some random shit.
Do you have like 40 different giant wolf models just like waiting in the wings, ready to go in?
Most of the wolves actually got used. Those are mostly painted. I feel pretty okay about that. It's actually like a lot of like marauders, because I actually started playing warriors before the 8th ed book dropped, and like marauders were amazing. So I had a lot of marauders, and then they were completely shit. So they've kind of sat in nothing. So it's been a lot of there's a lot of marauders, and then just like some random models, like a couple of characters, that kind of thing, as to what's unpainted or unbuilt. So I will probably keep most of it, but I might cut a couple models here and there, or maybe chop them up for bits. As needed, because I'm keeping actually the warriors as square based like 8th ed, because we still play some like legacy narrative games once in a while, like once like twice or 3 times a year. A bunch of us in the club will do this giant mega battle with like, now we've got a couple of them now, and there's like a story that goes behind them, and we've like reoccurring characters that like will come into play, and like they actually like get different abilities. So the first game, my Chaos Lord with like the third eye of Tzeentch and like just all this stacked equipment died to halflings. Halflings shot him down.
What?
Yeah. So
you're just making that up.
Not at all. Like, it was the most ridiculous crap ever. And then the next game, he had hatred halflings. So he would, and like I was going to play him that he was going to run at him. That didn't end up happening, but he had hatred halflings, and then he also had terror halflings. So even though he caused fear, he would always take terror from halflings, so they could make him run away, which was awesome. Yeah, and then now he actually he survived this last battle, and he killed a ton of shit. Like, he killed Marius Leitdorf on a griffin, and like just did a bunch of cool stuff. So he's going to get a 2-headed chaos dragon that I have. I actually converted up from a Forge World Carmine dragon. I added a dragon head to it, and it's a 2-headed chaos dragon. He's going to get that as his mount. The chaos guys are going to reward him with a dragon.
Sounds badass.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have a lot of fun with that. So I'm going to keep those guys as square, and keep most of the models, because like there's always cool stuff to do with that. But yeah.
Okay. What about the brats?
I don't know what to do with the brats, because to me they're not painted well enough to where they could be worth anything, and most of the models no longer exist in Age of Sigmar. So I'm not sure. Like, I could just keep them, and they're painted, and they count towards my thing.
Yeah, 83.6%.
Yeah,
dude.
that's one of my highest.
One of the highest.
That might actually be my highest.
Yeah, it is the highest.
Oh god, that's depressing.
You get rid of these guys, your number's going to shit, man.
Yeah. So
it's like some kind of like work thing where it's all about the stats for the boss. So like
anything else. Let's just juice the
stats.
Juice them.
The stats.
So I have no idea what I'm doing with those. I might one day throw them. I don't know. They're not worth anything to me at this point, but they're not worth anything to anyone. So.
Okay. Are you gonna toss like the Lizardman? Looks like you got a lot of miscellaneous kind of stuff here.
I might actually try to sell some of so the Lizardmen. I might try to sell those. The little tricky bit about those is that in my wonderful wisdom, when I was originally doing them, I actually chopped them all off the sprues. So like they're all actually organized neatly in containers, plastic containers, and actually like split apart arms, bodies, that kind of stuff.
So you just have like a little Tupperware of arms?
Basically, yeah. Or like they're little or plastic organizers, like those like you get from Michael's or something, like tokens and things like that. Like I have my Lizardman in a couple of those, and so it's hard to sell them like that on eBay, because like who the fuck trusts that, right? Like, that just sounds ridiculous.
Man, there ain't 35 arms in there.
Right, exactly. And I don't want to like as a seller take that shit. So like I might try to sell it to somebody around like local, be like, this is roughly what it is. You're gonna get like 70% off, like just whatever, just to get a little cash for them. Empire, I might keep around, just because I have always wanted to paint the models, so I might just do that as a painting exercise. High elves, the couple that aren't painted are almost trash. Like, they're a couple chariot dudes and that kind of stuff. Ogres, I actually got a battalion of those from a North Star, I think, like 2 years ago. Like, I won a battalion in the raffle. Kevin was actually talking about maybe picking that up for me, for doing a destruction army for Age of Sigmar, but if not, then it'll go on eBay. And the miscellaneous stuff is, I mean, it is like Rackham wolves, werewolf dudes. Like that
See, I told you had a couple wolves laying around.
Oh, that's actually true. I have actually a shit ton of those, and they are worth a ton of money, because you can no longer get them anymore. So I'm gonna just sell the shit out of those, and like just a bunch of random weird stuff. So I don't know what the miscellaneous category is gonna do. eBay probably.
Okay. Moving on. This one's a shocker right here. First, for just being Warma Hordes. I don't think anybody knew. I think people knew that you played before, but I wouldn't assume that you still had anything. And then just the sheer number, 236.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah, so I played Warma Hordes in like college, and I was a press ganger for them. Like, I was all up in that.
Wow, you were in deep.
Yup. Played in like many tournaments a year, that kind of stuff. That's why I accumulated so much Cotter stuff. Yeah, I still have it because I've always kind of thought about selling it, but never. I've been honestly too lazy to sell it. Just too much apathy because it's so much shit. But that's actually this Saturday that's my project. I'm gonna take a picture of everything individually, get them ready to be shipped, and so that I can immediately put them on eBay. And the second they get sold, I just ship them. So that's actually on the project. I'm that entire Warma Hordes thing, minus one legacy model. Like, I'll keep one COD or legacy model. That should all be sold before I move, in June, at the end of June here. So
awesome.
Yep.
If that's old shit, that's all metal mostly.
Yep.
Awesome.
It's worth a shit ton of money too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we'll see what
50 pounds of steel.
just melt it down.
Yeah.
We'll see what the new edition, and there's a new edition coming out.
Oh yeah, it's throwing a wrench in every.
So we'll see if it might lose some value, but at this point, I don't really give a shit. If I get $100, I'll be happy.
Fuck it, getting rid of it.
Yep.
Okay. You got some Mordheim orcs.
I do.
So are there special Mordheim only orcs?
Not that I know of. Orcs? These are orcs, as far as I know. I don't believe Mordheim has any special ones. I just use fantasy model ones. We had a Mordheim campaign this fall, and I had a warband, which was wildly unsuccessful. But I did paint them, the majority of them. I didn't have many more than 12 models, so I didn't really need those extra 3. So.
Okay, you're gonna hold on to these bad boys for round 2, season 2.
I'll hang on to them for now. They were pretty disappointing.
Yeah, that's too bad. One thing actually, you seen the Silver Tower, the Age of Sigmar ship? Yeah, that actually was really fucking cool.
That's great.
I kind of hoped like if they did like some kind of Mordheim with these, I think it would work like way better than the actual Mordheim. I'm not a fan of the Mordheim the rule set.
Yeah, when I was in high school,
back in the day,
I loved Mordheim. Like, that shit was amazing. And then I played it this fall, and not that it wasn't like fun at times, but man, that rule set's unbalanced. Like, I forget how like ridiculously unbalanced it is.
Yeah.
So,
I think with the Age of Sigmarness flowing through it, it could be really it kind of lends itself to that kind of thing, so it'd be cool. You a Malifaux player, son? What is this shit?
I am not, but I accumulated a bunch of models, mostly actually as they're going to be conversions for various fantasy armies, like a lot of ghosty dudes or like that kind of thing. And then when I was at Rock Wars in the raffle, I won the Lady Justice, the new models, like the really nice new plastics. I won her starter box and a couple other things. So It's more so just stuff I've accumulated over time. We've talked about playing it at the shop, but now we're playing so many games between like
stuff.
Yeah, I probably won't have time, so those will get sold, like more likely than not.
Okay. What about these Lord of the Rings bros?
Oh man, that's
the Gondorians.
Oh, so many of them. There are 140 models. Oh, it's disturbing.
Were these for like an Adepticon tournament or
no.
something? Wasn't people into Lord of the Rings for a bit?
There were that strategy battle game. These were not for that. These were for when Kevin Bruins and I would play games in his dorm room back in like junior year. We had many an epic battle over Lord of the Rings that was equal parts frustrating for both of us. So I have a lot of models for mysterious reasons at this point. And they're worth nothing because the game doesn't really exist in a real, like it's really unpopular. No one plays it. I might sell them. I might just put them out like all up for like $20 and see if somebody just, throws me a couple dollars. But I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, you got to get them off this list, dude. They're killing you here.
Yeah. Bunch of models.
Keep the 2 painted ones, but the rest. Okay, what are these historicals?
So
seems like everybody's got a few kicking around.
These were part of the Perry miniatures are like their medieval foot soldiers, so like pikemen, crossbowmen, stuff like that. I was actually going to use those as alternate conversion models for Empire. Like I was a big fan of like with units of human dudes, especially, or just infantry, is actually having models different height. And different like builds, so that it kind of gives the look of a more realistic set of humans, that not everyone's kind of the same size and build. And kind of walking around with the same size axe. So I had them in order to do Empire stuff. Now I don't know if I'll actually do anything with them. I might just sell them, just because Empire is not probably going to be a thing I touch. The Warlord game stuff is mostly Romans. From back when Kevin and I played Ancients. Just stuff digging out from just forever ago. I didn't even know this existed, kind of deal. So again, probably little value on eBay. Maybe with the new Saga, they're talking the next thing of Saga being like late Roman.
That's what I've heard.
So I don't know. Like I would guess, just the look of them, that I won't be able to use them straight up. I'd have to do quite a bit of conversion work to like make them make sense. But there's some potential there. So I might end up keeping those for Saga, because I probably will. By the time that drops, I'll probably want another warband, and something in that area would be really cool. Doing some late Romans or something.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. How do you feel after talking about all this stuff that's been in the closet all this time?
It's coming out of the closet.
You're coming out, showing the world.
This
is Mikey G. This is
actually talking through it. The one thing I've actually been, again, it's been doing the list has stopped me from making a bunch more impulse buys, which is great. And it's also given me quite a bit more motivation. As I'll sit down on the couch at like 8 o'clock, be like, well, I guess I could like pop in a movie, or I could stand my ass up to my standing desk and try to crank out a model. So, it's been nice to have a little bit extra motivation to try to turn some of these, cells yellow and green eventually. So that color coding is amazing. I'm more motivated. The numbers mean nothing to me, but just getting another goddamn yellow on there, that's all I need.
That's all you need. Yeah, it's fun going through this. Like, it's literally like a decade or more of like history. It's like different eras of your gaming life are on this thing. So it's kind of cool seeing that. You always have the little log here of everything. So just because you put it on here, doesn't mean you have to get rid of it or anything like that. But so you're going to shoot for 75%. Would at an undisclosed future date, would would make you a happy camper, you're thinking here?
Yeah, if I could get to 50% by the time I'm 30, so next year, I'd be feeling pretty good. And if I get to 75 the year after, I'd be feeling great. So.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be awesome. It's at least a few fucking hundred models.
Yeah.
To slog through.
That's the thing is that's, some of these are like actual projects, like the Vampire Counts. There's 180 models that's actual, like, intend to get most of that done. Eldar, there's 125 that I intend to get done. So, like, Bolt Action, 82. Like, there's a lot of these that actually I'm trying to accomplish and not just sell off, which means if I want to do them right, like, I'm done rushing through stuff. Like, I did that back in the tournament. You do it, and then you would immediately regret it. You get done, you get to the event, you'd be like, well, I'm glad I have this done for this event, but God, I had to cut some corners to make this shit happen. And you just feel really bad about yourself. Done doing that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it the time it deserves. But some of these projects alone are probably multi-year things. So I don't feel bad saying that, it's going to take me a couple of years to get through this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing everything.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
It's fun to go through. Maybe we'll catch up with you some other time, see how you're doing. But otherwise, I might chat to you later about some Saga stuff.
Sounds great.
What do you think about that? Sounds fucking cool. But okay, keep it going. Keep it hobby horn dogging, man.
Always.
All right, later.
See you, bud.
God damn, that's a lot of models. That was super fun going through. I feel a lot better about my model collection. Maybe you do too. If you are going to do a tally, I would love to see your Excel spreadsheet or however the hell you organize your numbers, just to see what you got, how you stack up to Mikey G. If you want to come on and chat about your collection, that would be awesome as well. It's really fun taking a look and seeing what kind of crap we've accumulated over the years, and we're all in this together. I would love to hear from you. Until then, like, subscribe, favorite this shit, become a hobby horn dog today.